Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. For today's story, we're actually going to be taking a look at an article that came out on Friday last week, and it was titled BC Launches New Racist Incident Hotline. Yes, unfortunately, you heard that right. The province says the helpline will collect anonymous data about where and when racist incidents happened. Now, before we dive a little bit deeper into this article, the reason I found this was because the Publica actually took it upon themselves to call in a sense, troll the hotline by using an actual story that came out earlier in May this year about a UK professor who's of Japanese descent claiming her colleague was causing racist harassment by suggesting a sushi restaurant that was, I guess, in the area that she liked. And it wasn't just Publica that covered this, the Daily Mail covered this, and a few other news outlets also covered this story. But as I mentioned, the Publica actually took it upon themselves to call, and this is how that went.
Jessica with the Racist Incident Helpline. Can I help you today?
Hi, I heard about this new helpline and I thought this would be a good place to get some advice about something that's been happening to me at work. I am Japanese descent and I've got this colleague when we have to have small talk sometimes, like we have to share a break room. So this colleague quite frequently, several times, has said things to me about how she really likes sushi, she really likes Japanese culture and food. She just keeps bringing it up kind of out of nowhere. I don't think it's an
Mm,
appropriate thing to bring up in small talk.
yeah. So I'm hearing you say you're a little bit frustrated maybe with the kind of topics that she brings up during small talk. Um, and maybe that is kind of pigeonholing you as a person.
Yeah, do you think it's a microaggression?
It could be. If you think it is, then it probably is.
It makes me very uncomfortable.
Mm, mm-hmm. Yeah. Then I think you should think about it as racism then. I did pull up a couple of resources for you. With how you said you wanted to report, I think WorkSafe BC's prevention information line might be relevant for you. You can anonymously report your workplace there, and they could get someone to come in and check on it. Does that sound like something you want?
Yeah, I think that might be very helpful because I think this needs to be taken seriously.
Yeah, 100%. And if you want to go even beyond WorkSafe BC, I also have the Employment Standards Office number and information lined up here, and that's with the Ministry of Labor. If your workplace doesn't take it seriously and WorkSafe BC thinks you should take this above and beyond, you can contact the Employment Standards Office.
Okay.
Do you think that is also a resource you want?
Yes, please.
Sure. And then I have three other resources in case you want like diversity training or, anti-racist rhetoric training in your workplace. I have three resources lined up that they do like training and workshops for your workplace, just so that people have greater awareness and more education. Do you still want me to include those as well?
Yeah, I think we really need that. I think, yeah, yeah. We don't have enough of that at work as it is. I think we definitely need more of that DEI
Mm-hmm.
training.
Yeah.
Now, even though I know that this whole video call was a troll by Publica, it was so frustrating and irritating to hear this woman on the other line, who I'm sure is just trying her best to help out individuals. It just helps breed fragile, hypersensitive individuals. And the fact that this story about the UK professor is actually true, where she reported her colleague for bringing up Japanese related comments, that's mind blowing to me. I can't count how many times they find out that I have Portuguese blood. They start talking to me about Portuguese tarts or Portuguese chicken, the churrasco chicken, or they talk to me about seafood. Like my own neighbors, they ask me if I know a good fish market in the area to get good quality fish because they know that I've talked about eating. We eat cod, we eat sea bass, we eat a lot of seafood, clams, oysters, all that good stuff. It's a bit of a staple, and people already know that when you're talking about Portuguese people, that is part of their cuisine. But I don't take that as racist. All my friends are Filipino. I would go to them to ask them of a good Filipino joint to go eat at. Or my coworkers who are Polish, I'd ask them of a good Polish spot. The Jamaican guys I work with, I'd probably ask them if they know a good jerk chicken place. That's not racist. That's being smart and utilizing the people around you if you need help with something. But if we go back into this whole article that I was talking about with BC, it goes on to say the helpline, a collaboration between the BC government and a non-profit United Ways, aims to connect callers with culturally appropriate support services to help them file police reports. It will also help the province collect data about where and when racist incidences happen. The BC's Attorney General, Nikki Sharma, said it's a way for an individual that has experienced a traumatic thing to know that there's a community that is there across this province that's there to support them. And then the article goes on to say that Sharma, the Attorney General, added that the hotline operators may also offer guidance on how to file police reports so people who have experienced a racist incident won't have to relive a traumatic event multiple times. I'm so curious as to what kind of racial events these people are suffering from. If it's actual hate crimes, like you're being physically assaulted and abused because you're a different skin color, then yeah, that's great. File the police report, go for it. But I don't understand. If somebody's just saying something to you, it seems like now you're going to be reported for that. And again, if we're using this example that from the UK, this woman reported her colleague for just talking about Japanese cultural or saying Japanese related comments, which is akin to George Orwell's 1984 with the whole newspeak that he talks about, where now individuals are going to be policing other individuals on what they say because their feelings got hurt. They didn't like what they said. And this is also in correlation with the Liberals' new, Bill C-63 that they're trying to push forward, the online harms bill, which a portion of that bill I'm on board for, where there's sensitive content for young minors that gets on the internet and they try to take that down immediately. I'm on board for that. But the second portion of that, where it's the hate speech or policing the way you speak, I'm not for that. And Minister Varani kept talking about how, don't worry, you're still going to be able to leave hateful comments and be rude and this and that. It's not going to affect that.
The Supreme Court has outlined that what we are talking about is detestation and vilification of a person or a group. We are not talking about stuff that some people call awful but lawful. There will still be humiliating comments. There will still be offensive comments, insults, expressions of disdain and dislike. There's a lot of stuff that is out there that will remain out there.
Yet, if we're using the example of this hotline just provided us, that's exactly what happened. This woman got to report her colleague for just saying something. And to me, that's another thing that Minister Varani contradicted when he mentioned fomenting hate would be falling under hate speech.
You've removed hate speech as one of the categories of content. So to Stephanie's point, how are you going to be you're not going to be regulating that because you've just taken it out of the 7 categories of content that you're going to be regulating social media companies to police.
So what I'd say to you is that there are 7 categories across the board that constitute harmful content.
Hate speech is a no-no.
That is incorrect. Content that foments hatred is one of the 7 categories. Okay, but to your point, Stephanie, that is not one of the immediate takedown provisions. That is correct. But there are still aspects that empower users. I'll give you some of them. Okay? If you are affected by what you think is content that is fomenting hatred, that meets that definition, what you can do is you can flag that content to the platform. one route. Second route is you can flag that content to the Digital Services Commissioner, and they can seek some response from the platform. The third route is that the platform, pursuant to this legislation, is going to implement a digital safety plan that talks about risks that are out there, what we're doing to reduce those risks, and they're going to be held accountable for what they are doing or not doing to reduce those risks themselves.
So in one breath, he says that rude comments and hateful things like that are still allowed. You're not going to get punished for that. But then in the other breath, he's saying, if you find that something is rude or hateful or foments hate, then you can report it and it will go through the process. And that sounds like that's exactly what BC is already now implementing. And I'm sure this is only the start. There's probably going to be more and more stuff that comes out on this. And I guess we just got to sit back, wait and see, because this government just does whatever they want. They don't care about what the vast majority of people say, what the vast majority of people want. And all they do is placate to this very small minority who's probably going to take advantage of this because they love to complain about everything and anything. But as always, it's just my opinion. Love to hear from you guys. Let me know what you think about this whole crazy situation. As always, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Thanks so much.